I'm a time bomb that's waiting to go off.
It's Madden NFL 23. And coming up, we'll see T.J. Hawkinson. He was historic a week ago, surpassing Shannon Sharp's 2002 mark of 214 yards by a tight end. It's the Vikings and the Saints coming up next.
We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today, it's Week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. Takes it at the 7. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the second-year man from The Ohio State University, Justin Fields.
And he did everything possible to rally his team to a win last week, didn't he? What did he throw for?
Over 450 yards.
I mean, that's a pretty phenomenal performance. So, obviously, he and the offense were clicking pretty well. The other two-thirds, though, that comes into question. Defense and special teams, they'll need all of them to play better in this one, too.
A running play on first down will get 4 up to the 29. The numbers on the ground for Walker a week ago. 14 carries, 51 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that. But they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
Sticking with Walker on second down. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all. So this game here in London, the first of 5 games in the NFL International Series for 2022. We'll see the Giants and Packers here next week. Broncos and Jags at Wembley at the end of the month. The Seahawks and the Bucs, that'll be in November in Munich, Germany. First time a game's been held there. And then we wrap up down in Mexico City, November 21st. Cardinals and Niners from Estadio Azteca. Well, that'll get them the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant. The Vikings are 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. They got off to a good start, but then 2 straight losses since.
And now you start to wonder about what this does for a team's morale, how it affects their psyche, because, let's face it, you work all summer pointing toward that opening game, you get the win, but then you don't carry it on from there. How will they bounce back from these losses and try and get right?
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. They'll try for the first with Walker. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs. Established.
And the ball is knocked out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Meanwhile, Fields' throw caught by Ezukama. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 27-yard line. Here's Fields. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
But what looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings.
Now, I tell you what, partner, I think this guy's going to like running behind his new offensive line.
I agree with you, and you can never have enough good runners. They usually provide a nice little spark with their new team.
Back to Walker on first down.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13.
It was P.J. Williams that time on the tackle.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And the Vikings are going to be looking at first and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. Now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams marching right to the goal line and not cash in. They got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
From the 2 now, second and goal. Walker once more, but he will not get to the goal line. In fact, he won't get to the line of scrimmage as they push him back to the 2. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. And I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking?
And this time he is in. Kenneth Walker, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are on the board first here this afternoon. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. That drive a long one, spanning 15 plays. And it was Ken Walker who finished things off with a touchdown catch. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Saints now for their first drive. They're led out by a 3-time Pro Bowler, owner of over 35,000 passing yards in 11 seasons, the veteran Andy Dalton. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 2 receiving.
So Deuce is wild, huh?
Absolutely.
Probably should have gotten 2 checks for this game, right? One for the running backs, one for the wide receivers. Could carry home a nice little pile of cash.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it'll leave him with 3rd and a full yard to go. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Dalton, bootlegs out. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go.
There's a hush indeed. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And the Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
A play fake, now Fields to throw. Throw out wide to Walker. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Demario Davis coming in for the sack that time. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
And that is how you respond after taking one on the chin to begin this game. Give up a first drive touchdown, go back out on defense, and completely shut them down to force a 3-and-out.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows the punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
He rifles one that's intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. A big play there by the rookie. An interception followed by the return for 6 points.
If you want to be accepted by your teammates and coaching staff, make plays like that.
The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Ross Blacklock on the tackle. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Again, it's Kamara. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. And that is incomplete. That makes them now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. This is taken at about the 14. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. So here are the Vikings to take over. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. Here's Walker to start the drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
From the 30 on 2nd down. Fields. Pass complete as he combo with it. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Fields. He completes this to Walker. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss it.
We're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked up by Pete Werner. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. So problems with Aaron passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week, and now another here in this first quarter.
Sometimes, Parker, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and you can't do it all on one throw.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Saints with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it 2nd and 7. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings 37. 3rd and inches, and they've got some extra beef up front. 3 tight ends. There's Kamara trying to run for it. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, though, if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Now Dalton. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. 3rd down from the gun. Dalton. Back to Kamara for another catch. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 56 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Kamara is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. Can this Vikings D hold up one more time? 3rd and goal. They'll run it with Kamara. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4.
With the way things have gone in this game, I think they've got to consider going for it here. I realize it's just the 2nd quarter, so they're not panicking, but they need something to give them positive momentum to get things going.
The kick by Lutz is good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
2 fantastic games coming up to wrap up Week 4, the first weekend in October. Tonight, the Chiefs and Buccaneers from Tampa. That's a rematch of Super Bowl 55, of course. And then Monday night, rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. The Rams and Niners from Santa Clara. Coverage on that one, 8:15 Eastern.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's Fields. Quickly to Hawkinson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Good strong throw catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
6 yards left on 2nd down. From the 50, here's Fields. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Throwing on third down, Fields. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds it for the first down.
And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to hit 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to...
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The sack coming from defensive end Cameron Jordan.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. They're just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
This one caught. It's the tight end, Hockenson. Well, a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, hopefully, obviously, nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Running for it. Here's Cook. And oh, he coughed it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And hindsight 2020, I think they probably should have gone for the field goal, right?
The 3 points would look really good right now, but I think what we just saw there, and
now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
After review of the play, ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. So this offense able to convert on fourth, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10. This will be caught at about the 3. And the Vikings are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. Here's Fields. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
No surprise there. He was looking for one of his favorite targets again as soon as he left the pocket. But the coverage was good downfield. They got right to the receiver and helped prevent that completion.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, Fields. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Jahan Dotson with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And the lead is up to 18 now. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. This taken in at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. Kamara up the middle. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 64 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. On 2nd and 2, Dalton. There's Chris Olave. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down. Dalton now to pass. Forced out to his left. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Jordan Brooks with it. And the Vikings will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. I know it appeared he was saying, hey, give me the football, I'm open, but I don't know if that's a pass that he should have thrown there.
Well, I don't think we've ever met a wide receiver that doesn't think he is open or is about to be open.
True.
So when you throw your hand up in the air and tell your quarterback, hey, I'm available, he's trusting that you are. In this case, he was not, and it turned into disaster for them.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, it's Walker. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Play action. It's Fields. Throw left side complete. That's Cook. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Everything's going right here in this first half, and they've got a good lead. And part of that can be attributed to their success on 3rd downs. This is another conversion here, and they can look to really open things up now with this 1st and goal.
Here's Walker. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. On 2nd and goal, Fields. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Jahan Dotson as the first half is winding down. And the Vikings are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point right down the middle. And a rout is on here in this first half. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it was Jahan Dotson with a touchdown catch to finish things off. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. taken at the goal line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And with only 9 seconds remaining and not much time, we'll see how they play this. And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. So we hit halftime with our visitors. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. And the Saints set to go here to begin the third quarter. Well, CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late. That wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Passing, it's Dalton. And that is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That's pulled in at the 32. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Kenneth Walker headed back out there. He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on.
Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has. Demario Davis there on the stop. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On the move to his left. Hawkinson crossing the middle and bringing it in. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Taken down at the 30.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Back to throw, Fields. Catch is made by Hawkinson, the tight end. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. Partner, still in the third quarter, but they've got this one well in hand and still airing it out with gusto and picking up some nice gains.
And even in lopsided games like this, you don't really see starters get lifted or the foot come off the gas before the fourth quarter. No one wants to leave any doubt when they're playing well. They just want to continue the process.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
An 8-play drive to this point, so here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7.
To throw is Fields. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Jahan Dotson, his 3rd touchdown of the season, all coming in this game. And the Vikings are pouring it on. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. That time, a 9-play drive. And it was Jahan Dotson with a touchdown catch to finish things off.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
This taken in at the goal line. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here.
We haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Here's Dalton. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. 97 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Andy Dalton. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
The offense set to get going. Justin Fields bringing him out at quarterback.
He continues to just torch this defense. Perfect on the last drive, including his 4th touchdown pass of the game.
Similar to hitters that are in that great zone in baseball, and they say the ball looks bigger when it's approaching the plate and they're smacking it around. I think for him, the windows to throw into are wide open. Doesn't matter whether they're tight or not. He feels like it's wide open, puts it in there. 4 touchdown passes. He thinks he's going to throw a whole lot more before this one's over.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Fields. He'll get this one to Ezekama. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. Looking for Dotson, and he's got him. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A good pickup there, 26 yards. From the gun, it's Walker. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Back to the ground. This time Cook. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings just continue to roll. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
A give to Kamara running right. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 115 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
Play action now. Dalton. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 16. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. He's down inside the 10 to the 8. And it comes on a gain of 8. Ball on the 8, 2nd and 2. To throw here, Dalton. And his pass incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and construct.
Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas. His first touchdown on the year. And the Saints are able to at least get one score back. Lutz with the extra point. So they do get one score back, but still a long way to go here in the 3rd quarter. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Still comfortably on top, 3rd quarter as they start things here with a 1st and 10. Fields now to throw. That's complete to Justin Jefferson.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him the first down. Up the middle they run. It's Walker.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield.
3 quarters have come and gone.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Welcome back now here in London. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's got a man complete. Touchdown, Vikings.
Justin Jefferson,
50 yards.
and the Vikings look like they're about to put an end to their 2-game losing streak as they add on to their lead. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. But I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their third straight defeat. Dalton's throw caught by Olave.
They find some open field here.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Completing it to the right side, Johnson.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
On second down, Kamara. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. Gets around him. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And when you're throwing the ball downfield really well like they have been on this drive, it's really a nice time to work one of the screen plays in. One of my favorite play callers in the game has always told me he starts every game with 10 to 12 screens because if he starts feeling the pressure from the defense, he uses their aggressiveness against them.
And he tries to keep the legs churning, but he's going to be stopped behind the line. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Throwing, Dalton. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara with career touchdown number 75.
So take away the touchdown there as that's going to be ruled an incomplete pass.
Dalton on 3rd and goal. And he's got it. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Jarvis Landry from 4 yards out.
And the Saints get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
What's good on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play.
This one fielded at the 5. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Kenneth Walker headed back out there.
And really a lot of guys you could highlight on this offense with how well they've played, but he's one of them. He's been spectacular so far.
I'd say he'd be the number one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because it's not just the numbers. It's, as you said, I think you said focal point. Well, that's what he's been, and that means he's created other opportunities because they've had to bring the defense to him. He's run it really well. He's caught it out of the backfield. They're trying to stop him. That means there are chances for the rest of the guys to do damage themselves.
Off play action. Fields
Rolling to his left. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
And here's Ryan Wright now.
As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Landry, agile footwork. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that will bring up 2nd down. And Dalton to throw. And he'll go right back to Landry. It's complete again. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 right at the 40. Dalton. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up 2nd down. So Dalton now. Olave holds it in. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 27-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Johnson with a completion over the middle.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. They run it again with Kamara. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Here's Dalton. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
And it'll be intercepted.
Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Vikings are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
Fields on first down. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. Fields. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
And here we go on fourth down. Fields. Quick slant. Dotson. And he is going to pick up the Vikings first down. It's a gain of 12 on fourth. A big pickup of 12 yards on fourth down to keep this drive from stalling. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game, and they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the fourth.
They certainly are, and let me tell you something. If you're old school, you don't like this at all, but in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. Middle of the field to Jefferson. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 40. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. Cook now off the read option. On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. This one brought in by Jefferson. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That one goes for 24 yards.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the fourth quarter.
And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. That one looks like he'll throw here. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. But it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he'll be brought down at the 27. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts, as he'll stop him with 27 seconds showing on the clock. On 2nd and very short, Dalton. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Lutz with the extra point, and that will cut this lead down to 25. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive.
And it's Michael Thomas who ends it with a touchdown reception. This will be fielded inside the 5. And not much happening on the return. To about the 23. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, they came into this one with a vision, Charles, and it has played out exactly as they had hoped, if not even better. They've got the huge lead here, and now the football for the final moments of the fourth.
Yeah, and it was apparent that they were the better team, right? We figured that out pretty early, but give them a lot of credit for staying with it. They didn't stumble around out there. They didn't create a lot of errors for themselves because they were the superior team. They took care of business and closed them out pretty quickly.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Minnesota, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks.